Back again with the right tool this time. That's the right one. And a rag. That's to wipe the motor down with on the seat. Okay, there was a time long ago, when I could look at the size of a nut or whatever and know immediately what it was. Those days are long past. Despite the fact that I've serviced over 25,000 cars and done all that sort of work. If you don't keep doing it, you start at the beginning, what you're on about. Now the bottom of this engine down here, although it's been cleaned just a few Ks ago, is leaking like a sieve. Now it's coming out of the back main, which is not the best place for it to be coming out of. Look at that. Look at that junk coming out of there. I mean, that is just disgusting. That long ago the filter stopped working. What a disgusting thing to put on an engine. Right, now, clean the base. Yes, the motor's well and truly due for a change. It needs to be pulled apart. Most likely thing will happen to it will be, I'll strip it. Just plug in while I'm here too. We'll just strip it, test it, get it crack tested in the crankshaft and the rods, make sure they're okay. I may put a set of Marley rods in it, just rebuild the heads, put a cam in it. I may put a stroker kit to take it up to 4.2 litres. Why don't you go in there, you dog? Get in. That's it. Take it up to 4.2 litres and give it a little bit of a cam, but I don't want to take it up too far and cause the computer to have a conniption, because I don't want to have to put an addition to it to have it regraphed. That would not suit me at all. So the object is to get the best out of the engine. I'll build it as a gas motor only, still run on petrol, but we'll change the gas unit on the car, recondition it, do all those good things to it. So that's a bit of a rub up there. The motor will get another clean down later today. Before I take it down from here, I'll give it another clean, get all the oil off it. Just had a new rack fitted to it. The other one was starting to show signs of not being nice. So the motor can actually go for a lot longer yet. There is good oil I can put in it, which will keep it going even if it's in poor shape, because it'll pull the oil pressure back up, so I could probably get another 20,000 out of it. The other engine will be better, but it's got to have some work done to it first. Make sure it's okay. I'll try and set it up on a base and run it out of the car just to see what's going on. So if we have to fix it, we can do it there. You never know with them. Buying second hand, you do take a risk. Okay, well that's tight. Now, put the oil filter on it, if I can find it up here. What did I do with it? Here, on the ground. I told you they don't get old, it's not good for you. Okay. I've seen people put them on still with that on them. I wonder why they don't have the oil in them. It's not a very smart move. And these are childproof. I'm only a young fella and not very used to the world. At the present time I'm having all sorts of difficulty trying to get this off. My fingernails are short. There we go. All done. A little bit of oil to poison myself with. Shouldn't really put your fingers in oil. It's been used like this, got all sorts of contaminants in it. But I've been doing it for 50 years and I'm still breathing, so it can't be too bad. Okay, let's get this up here. This pathetic thing back on here. There's ample room for a filter to be at least the size of a Z9. In fact, if I could, we'll find out if a Z9 will fit it, which is of course a Holden one or a Ford. Find out if a Z9 fits it, and if it does, that's what will be going on it. That'll get on there. Very awkward to get down here. Okay, not too tight with these. Just firm. You check it when you start the motor. That'll do, just don't want it spinning off, that's all. So that's good. Belt's good. I'll maybe go have a look. All the mounts are good. Gearbox is leaking a little bit of oil. Hopefully it's not the front seal. We made fine care we didn't take the torque converter out of it. It does have a slight leak at the rear. When it's serviced, we'll check it. If it does leak, we'll just keep topping it up until such time as we get the whole thing done, the motor and everything out of it. We'll just do it all in. So she's pretty good, the old thing, looking pretty good under here. Everything seems to be tight. Very tight. So it's a little bit loose. I'll borrow to tighten it up on it, I think. Bit of wear on it. If we put a gap in the back of that, a little gap in this one too, so it's probably a little bit loose there. Back ones are good. They're all plastic. Car's in great shape, really. No rust in it. No bangs and dings underneath it. The engine pipes, well, they could be replaced with mandrel vents. That's something we can make up for it later. They're a bit restrictive on the right, left-hand bank. They're just lazy at GMH. They just don't want to spend any money. So that's that one. Okay, we'll put some oil in it. Here I am struggling to get on my feet again. Okay, just lift this up. Right, Castrol. I'm not a favourite. Castrol's not one of my favourite oils at all, but I'll put a bit of anywhere. It's 10W40. 10W40 is probably a bit light for this at the moment, but it's all I can use at the present time. So my best quality oil inside that I have cost me about $6 a litre. It's built for these engines. It's much better than this stuff. It's a 2050, and of course we used Penrite in this before, which is also actually a 2050, although they say it isn't. On the packet it's actually a 2050. In fact, some of them can be 3060s and still not be showing up on there. It just depends on the way the manufacturer markets the stuff. So oils ain't oils, people, as you've heard before. They all differ to some degree. Some are better than others. Some will take high pressure, some won't. There's been tests done on quite a number of very famous quality oils and found that they failed at 9,000 pounds per square inch. Not good. And yet some oils will take 90,000 pounds per square inch before they start to break down. They're the ones you want in your motor. Okay, the filler's on the other side here, so I'll just grab this and go around there. I'll stand on the side here and try to destroy myself. Here we go. Much room. Alright, filler's on the side here. You'll note that it's nice and clean. I keep it clean, and I keep the O-ring up to it too. Inside the engine here, very good. All quite clean in there. That in there. This is a slow fill. Down in there. That's better. Take this thing off the top here. If I can get it off. Oh, yeah, another strike pretty fine. That hurt my fingers, to be frank. Oh, gee whiz. I didn't want you to get in here. Took all my strength to get that off there. Not that my strength is great at the present time. There we go. Okay, now we have a measure on the side of this. That's good. Right, not too much, it'll fall over. A bit like me, really. Put too much pressure on me and I fall over too. Nice to see good clean oil going into a car. Splashing everywhere, as usual. Stop that before it goes sideways. It's got a filter in it, that's why it's slow. I like filters, in case a butterfly flies in there. You don't want butterflies in your motor. How much have we put in? Yeah. 2.5 litres. It'll take all this with the filter comes up, 5 litres. It's usually 4 litres with the
No, is it 3 or 4 litres? Maybe 4 litres with it full of the filter. I'll start it at 4 anyway and see what happens to it. You'll be able to hear the mains rattle in it. No mistaking what they are. Doing well. While I'm out here, I'll put a plug in for my good mate over in California, John Benezitz from Central Valley Classics. He found my 72 Cadillac for me, plus another one, a 66. The big limousine. The limousine will feature on my site very shortly when I get some more work done to it. John's a great guy. He's got one overriding capacity apart from the fact he's a great mechanic. He's totally, absolutely, 100% honest. If you ever get work done with him, you know you're going to get the job you paid for. He'll build anything. He'll do anything from a minor service through to a major restoration. He'll build you a hot rod if you want one. He's very reasonable in his prices, and his work is good enough to be shown and win 100 points at Pebble Beach. So if you want to find a car or get one fixed, he's the go-to man in California. He's in Fresno, dry area. He finds cars in dry places. If you go and get them from the wet states, you'll wish you hadn't. Believe me. Not a good idea, folks. Right, this got 2 litres left in it. This should be enough to start the engine with, which I'll do in a moment. Let that drip down. Great little motors, these Buick engines. 4.2 litres, stroker crank, decent set of rods in them, balance job. You can spin them up quite fast. I'll go to $6 grand. Don't think they really should be taken that far, but you know, basically I build engines for torque, not power. Torque is what moves things, power gives you top speed. Alright, that's how it works. A lot of modern motors don't produce any torque till they get to 4,000 revs, which is ridiculous. Where can you drive around the local city at 4,000 revs a minute? Just absolute tripe. But you should even think about that. No. You want your power between about 1,500 and 3,000, that's where you need it. Because that's the place, 3,500, because that's the place where you do most of your driving. Passing speeds are usually from 2,000 to 3.5. Your pulling power is usually from, say, 1250 revs up. That's where you want it. Don't pull caravans or do anything like that. That's where you need it. Okay, I'll take this out of here. Put the cap back on. Roll it over the side for drips. Drips are idiots under pressure. Probably heard that one. Alright. Stiff today, folks. Okay. It's on the ground. We'll give it a tickle and see what happens to it. Over the engine to make sure I got oil light went out before I started it. Bearings like oil. As you can hear, it's typical 36 Commodore engine. Tapping away in the gudgeons. That's probably got cam wear and gudgeon and followers. So when the motor gets done, you've got to replace all those anyway. So the present time is done quite well. As I say, we don't take it past 3,500 revs because rods have a heavy cabinet flying out of the single blade to it. That's pretty good at the moment. I'll just get down and check. See if we've got oil through the work oil. God, I wish I had a hoist. Yes, we have oil. Okay, so I'll just let that warm up a bit. I'll take it back off the lamp for a minute. After I've cleaned down the bottom end, I'll let it warm up. I'll top it off, and that'll be the oil change done as far as it goes. Well, okay, nice to talk to you. Do go and have a look at my site. I've got lots of stuff on there. John has a link there too. I've got links to filters and people who provide brake hoses and tubing. A lot of them are American. I don't usually bother with much of Australian businesses at the present time because they don't service you at all. Rock Auto, that's a good place to go to for spare parts. They've got lots of stuff on there. The prices are reasonable. They're not the cheapest sometimes, but they do have gear that most other people don't have. And there'll be more Cadillac stuff coming back onto my site recently. See you later.